friends, and welcome. I just wrapped up a major decluttering challenge where over the course of the past 30 days, I decided to let go of over 500 items, which honestly feels amazing. I love the peace, the tranquility that it brings to my space, but decluttering and deciding to let go of something is really only the first step of the process. And so today I want to take you along for kind of the part 2 of it and show you how I go about getting the items that I've decided to declutter out of my home and out of my life. And how I do that too in a bit more of a responsible way, where we aren't just throwing things in the trash or donating everything without thinking about it, but really trying to find a new home and a new life for the items that I've decided to let go of. So let's get started now here in what I've just started calling the disaster room, because this is where I've been putting everything that I've decided that I want to let go of. Today, I want to spend some time sorting through and taking action on each one of these items so we can get it either out of our home today or have a plan for getting it out. So let's talk a bit about my approach and kind of how I want to tackle this. I kind of mentioned it already, but when it comes to figuring out what I'm going to do with each item, I kind of like to think beyond the basics of just donating or throwing everything out. Because on one hand, yes, donating can be a great option, and I do like to donate a lot, but it isn't always the best one. And realistically, there are often a lot of things that you can't donate. If you ever have questions about what you can or can't donate, most charities will have a list on their website of the things they accept, which can be often quite limited. Kind of the same thing goes for throwing things out. Sometimes that's the best and only option available, but often there are a lot of alternatives that can make it so that you can give new life to your old things. Which is why I've started using a bit of a decluttering hierarchy so I can figure out the best and most responsible way that I can get rid of my things and get them out of my house. So how it works is we're essentially going to work through a progression where we're going to begin with seeing if there's anything we can sell, then gift, then repurpose, then donate, then recycle, and then finally we'll see if there's anything we need to throw out. What I find is that by working through everything in that order really gives your items the highest possible chance of finding a new life either with someone else or in some other form. It helps to minimize the amount of trash that we're creating. So let's begin with looking at that first option and see if there's anything we can identify here that we want to sell. So here's the little collection of things I'm wanting to sell. We've got some clothing, some artwork, and electronics. Oh, and that's not even mentioning some of the larger pieces of furniture that we already have either listed or sold. We sold our couch already, our bed frame and mattress, the PS4. So some of the larger items are already gone. So in a second, I want to list all of the items that we haven't already. But before we do, really quick, I wanted to talk through why I like to consider selling things first, kind of have it at the top of the decluttering hierarchy. It's really for 2 reasons. Number one, when you sell something and someone invests money in purchasing something, you're almost able to guarantee, in a sense, or at least highly increase the odds of the fact that the item that you're getting rid of is going to go to a new home where it will be used and loved by someone else. So it kind of continues the cycle of that item being able to live out its useful life. But then also too, especially for more expensive items, selling them can be a great way to kind of recuperate some of the investment that you initially made in that item. So for example, the gimbal that I want to sell here cost me, I think it was around $250 when I bought it. I bought it secondhand. It was worth more than that new even. And so that's a pretty significant amount of money. And so by selling items like that that kind of cost a bit more can help you to get some of that investment back. So selling can be a fantastic option. However, it does require a lot of time and effort. So one consideration I like to make when deciding what I want to sell is just, is this going to be worth the time investment that I'm going to make in selling it? For me, when it comes to practical items, there's usually kind of like a threshold of how much I would make from selling that item that I like it to hit. And honestly, I'm not even gonna throw out a number because that's different for everyone and what's worth it for you. video. But then the other thing too is, you know, for things like artwork, like my only two options are, I guess, giving it to someone, selling it, or recycling it, which the recycling one feels kind of sad, even though I do it for things that I don't think are as good, but for projects that I kind of like and am at least somewhat proud of, I like to either sell or gift them. And I, again, like selling for that one because it ensures that it's going to someone who is really going to cherish and value it, not just like saying yes to get it off of your hands. So it's kind of why I like selling things and what goes through my mind as I'm looking at what I want to sell. But then the only other real note I'll add this one too is when you go to sell things, be conscious of not charging so much that the things that you're selling just like sit on whatever platform you're selling on for months and months and months, and then they just continue kind of creating clutter or adding to the clutter in your home. I'm big on pricing things to sell so you can get them out of your home. All right, but now let's start listing all of these things. I think that this gimbal I'm going to put on Marketplace. That way, especially since it's a bit larger, someone can pick it up locally. For clothing, I love selling through Poshmark. I've had really good experiences with them before, so we'll list both of those there. And then, okay, I don't know if I want to try selling the embroidery locally. I might try doing that, but then for these, a couple of years ago, I sold a few old watercolor prints on my Instagram, and ever since, I've had people asking about them, so I think I'm gonna try listing these on there. And honestly, I might even try taking the pictures now, but timing when I release these pictures on Instagram for when this video goes live. That way, if one of these speaks to you, we've got like a little Venice gondola scene, cute little jellyfish. But if one of them speaks to you, you'll have the opportunity of purchasing it. I'm going to make those pretty affordable. Like, I'm not trying to make a ton of money from it. Actually, maybe I'll just donate all the proceeds to a charity. I don't know which one yet. I'll do some research, but we'll pick a charity. We'll donate the proceeds to that. But really my heart in this is I just want them to go to a good home. So I'm going to use this canvas as a backdrop. That way I can take some nice pictures. I feel like the texture of this just reads better than carpet. And then we can get to selling everything. Let's do the pictures first. I'm pretty sure a couple of these ones I actually featured or like created with you guys in a past video. Okay. And then I need to find a way to keep the fabric coming out. Okay, now for clothing and electronics. So we've got the pictures, and now we can actually list everything. So now that we've got everything either listed or ready to share when this video goes live, let's continue making our way down the hierarchy and next consider, is there anything that we want to gift? The real question that I want to ask here is, in looking at all of these items, is there anyone either who I know or in my network would be able to love and use these things? So this could be a friend or family member, a coworker. I love sharing things with the Buy Nothing group that me and a handful of friends started that has since expanded beyond our wildest dreams. But the reason why I really like this one as an option is as long as you make sure that the person who is saying yes to the item actually wants it, they aren't just saying it to be polite, but as long as they want it, you're again just increasing the chance that the things that you're getting rid of are going to go to a new home where they can live out that second life, continue being used and loved. And this one is really great for those things that are still in really good condition, but maybe value-wise just aren't worth the time and effort that goes into selling them. So that's what I want to look for right now. We're going to pull out all of the things that I want to share with our Buy Nothing group. That's kind of my favorite way of gifting items because it's really simple. I have a lot of my friends on there already, and it just streamlines the whole process. I can just give things to people as I see them, or they can come pick them up. So let's see. we can find here. Definitely those. So here's everything that I'm wanting to gift. A handful of these items have already been claimed by a friend or a family member, so I'm going to set those things aside for that specific person. But then for everything else, I want to take pictures of it. We'll share them to the Buy Nothing group. And then for anything that isn't claimed in the Buy Nothing group, at that point, we'll kind of keep moving down the hierarchy, probably end up donating whatever's left over. But hopefully a lot of this stuff gets claimed because some of these items like the glue gun, some of the art supplies, I have some hair products. You can't donate that stuff. So just finished taking all the pictures and now I'm working on getting everything posted. Probably got like a third of it up right now. We already have things getting claimed, which is so exciting. So I'm going to continue working on getting everything posted, but taking a quick break because as things get claimed, I just like to write a little sticky note with the name of the person who claimed an item. I'll attach it to the item. That way I know that it was claimed and also who claimed it so that the next time I see that person, I can give it to them. Our Buy Nothing group is like a big network of friends. So fortunately I know almost everyone in the group, and anyone who I don't know, I can basically like find someone who does and make sure that it gets to them. So I'm going to continue working on posting everything, just set things aside as they get claimed. A couple people are claiming multiple things. So I'm just going to use some extra rubber bands I have to hold everything together. In yellow. So just finished posted everything. Here's what hasn't been claimed yet, but we're doing really well. Almost half of it has been. So now we can continue making our way down the decluttering hierarchy. The next thing that we want to look for is if there's anything that we can repurpose. So can we take an item that's in one form, make it into another so that we can give it new life? And I will say I was looking at everything that I decluttered, and I think even though there's things that I could do, like I have some old shirts that I could turn into rags, things like that, I don't think I'm going to pursue that as an option, because I think that while repurposing is amazing, when you have a specific vision for something that's going to be helpful for you, sometimes it ends up being just kind of like a situation where you take clutter in one form and turn it into clutter in another form. Like I already have as many rags as I need. I don't need more. And so for me at this point, it wouldn't actually be decluttering really. It would just be changing the form of the clutter. So that's something that you want to keep in mind when repurposing items. However, for the right thing, can be a fantastic solution. So next thing that we want to look at, but we'll just kind of skip over that one, continue down the list. The next thing that we want to look for is what we want to donate. Just looking at what we have left here, I think some of the clothing, the textiles that we have left over could be great candidates for donation. So let's go through everything, figure out what we want to donate, and the thing that I really want to be looking for here is to make sure that the items that we're choosing to donate are still in good condition. Because thrift stores, donation centers, they can really only use things that are in usable condition. So I want to check for wear, for holes, for stains, all of that as I'm going through everything, and make sure that we're only donating things that the thrift store can actually use. So let's just start grabbing some things. Those look good. Christopher said these had a hole. Oh, there's a hole. Okay, that's gonna be a no. Another hole. Sad. And all of Christopher's shirts. Ugh. I'm just gonna use some trash bags to put all of the donations into. Books. So here's our donation pile, and I'm planning to bring everything to Goodwill. We'll actually do that in a second. But I just double checked everything against Goodwill's website, and I think everything should be good to go here, which is great. Do have some things that just weren't up to scratch, weren't in good condition, or that they couldn't accept. So this is kind of the pile that we're left with. We'll deal with that when we get home, but first, let's take everything to the donation center. I will probably end up doing a second trip for anything that isn't claimed on the Buy Nothing group, but I just want to get the majority of this stuff like out of my home today if possible. So that's why we're gonna go now. But fortunately it's only, well, it's not too far away at least, and yeah, it's not too hard to do a second trip. So let's load this in the car. So got everything all loaded up behind me. Let's go drop this off. And then box, and then one last bag. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks, you too. So we got all the donations dropped off, and while I was gone, a couple more items got claimed, which is great. So I'm going to label those, and then we can tackle those last two steps on the hierarchy. See here, the mug and the TV cord header. Go. Just a few more things left. It'd be so cool if it all went. Okay, so with the last two categories of the decluttering hierarchy, I like to begin by first seeing if there's anything that I can recycle, whether that's curbside recycling or if there's an organization, a business, anything like that that can recycle some of the items that I have. And then with anything that I can't recycle, that's kind of like that final step, and those are the items that I throw out. So looking at this pile here, and let's just take a moment to appreciate just how far we've come. We started with a massive pile of things this morning. This is what we're left with, but I think looking at this, a lot of it we're probably going to have to end up throwing out, but I do see for sure some things we can recycle in here. So let's pull those out first. Paper goods, for sure. Yes. That should recycle. Not too much that we can recycle. However, was able to find some paper goods that we can recycle, some photos. I did check if we can recycle photos in our area. It was something I wasn't sure about. Some boxes that will break down, but they're just cardboard, so those should be good. A bottle, which again, I checked to make sure that we can recycle it locally. I feel like that's something that's really important. Whenever you're looking at recycling things, you want to make sure what you are allowed to recycle and what, you know, recycling centers actually accept in your local area, whether that's your city, your county, however it works where you live. Most of the time they'll have like a page on their website that you can go to just to see what they accept curbside. And then often too, if you go to the actual recycling centers, there's even more that you're able to recycle too. So definitely worth looking into. And then the last thing that I'm going to be recycling is this pair of jeans, which cannot be recycled curbside. However, Madewell has a program where you can bring your old denim to be recycled, and then I think they actually give you it's like a $20 discount off of a pair of jeans. I'm not sure if I'll even use that, but it's a good option for taking your jeans back to. I feel like there are more and more brands these days that have really cool programs in place that let you recycle old clothing. So definitely a great option to look into. Let's bring all this over to our recycling bin. First, and the big stuff. So now we've come to the final step of the process, throwing out what's left over. And as much as I don't love throwing things out, sometimes it is the right option. You've used an item, used it up, it's fulfilled its useful life, and at this point, there's nothing really left that you can do with it. That's where we're at with a lot of these items. Many of them are broken, damaged, they've served us and served us well, but it's time to let go of them. So, let's finish this off just with bagging this all up and throwing it out. So there you have it. After a full month of decluttering, 500 plus items later, we're left with, what is this, like a third, maybe half of a bag of trash. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good, and I'll definitely take it. Okay. And there we go. Well, we did it. Of course, there's still some things that I need to distribute to different people to sell. Hopefully that should be wrapped up soon, but I really hope that it was helpful for you, just kind of seeing my process for how I like to get rid of the things that I've chosen to let go of, kind of working our way down the decluttering hierarchy. I really hope that this gives you maybe some motivation, some practical tips on how you can maybe just a bit more responsibly get the things that you've decided to let go of out of your home and out of your life. If that's something you're wanting to do, I've actually created a free PDF guide that walks you through the entire process, shows you the decluttering hierarchy, how it works, questions to ask yourself. It also includes a ton of great resources too on places that you can sell, donate, or recycle things. So definitely check that out. I'll have that linked up for you in the description box below. But as always, friends, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.